Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs pregame show podcast, and we're ready for Cubs and Royals on a summertime Friday at Wrigley Field with the vibes still flowing from Wednesday night. Luke Stuckmeyer, Corey Freedman, and running the ones and twos, Mr. Greg Braggs back from Bears camp. By the way, if you have not seen, we took some great videos on Wednesday night at the Crosstown. Go to the CHGO or the CHGO Cubs Twitter pages, and you'll see some fun stuff, including Braggs, who was sitting with White Sox fan Adam Hogue, who was mocking us, Cubs fans saying, the Cubs are about to get swept, and then Morel hits the walk-off that I predicted to Corey seconds before it happened.
Yes, sir.
It was that kind of magical evening. And by the way, Braggs, I will point out that yesterday, Cody and I talked about, well, you know, Braggs was there with Carm, who's a Cubs fan. I said, whoa. This guy's not allowed back on the bandwagon. He's a flipper and flopper just like my Capman guy is. Yeah. Like, he was a Cubs fan, but he told me beginning of the season, I said, which team are you a fan of? He said White Sox. And he was mocking whether or not the Cubs would ever get back to 500.
Yep. No, you're 100% right. He was actually talking with the original flipper flopper, Mr. Capper, my good friend. We were on the golf course yesterday, to Adam Hogue's chagrin, and he was on the phone with Cap. Cap was busting him up about, hey, the Cubs are back. Yeah. And Carm has moved the goalposts from he was once saying they'll never get over 500 to now he's saying they're going to barely make the playoffs. I'm like, well, that's quite the leap from what you were saying not too long ago.
It's pretty quick how everything changes. Gary Ross says it's going to be a wisdom day. How about that? Yeah, wisdom in the lineup today. So my question is for you guys as we get hello to everybody in the chat, by the way. I keep the thumbs up going. I see it's 11.
I'm Cody Del Mendo
keep it going.
Today, by the way.
You are Cody Del Mendo. Cody Del Mendo has the day off. He is enjoying Friday 120 vibes in the probably left field bleachers. He has not checked in. I asked him to, but he probably won't. He's at Murphy's already?
Murphy's. Yeah, I have it on good authority that he's at Murphy's. So.
Can we still enjoy the vibes of Wednesday night? How long do we let that percolate around here? Can we just pretend like it never ended?
I think you keep going. I don't think there's any limit on that.
Yeah, you don't. I am still having a great time from
You're still
night.
basking in the glow?
I mean, think about all the great Cubs-Sox moments from both sides of town. You know, and Aramis Ramirez hits the walk-off. That's
still number one.
It lives in infamy. I mean, for the Sox, Carlos Lee once hit a walk-off, you know, and those are the kind of things that are replayed over and over. And everybody wants to say, hey, they're a terrible team. They're a AAA team. Throw all that out. And not only that, every game that the Cubs win is important. You're going to lose games like they did last week against teams they should beat, like the Mets. So you're going to celebrate the ones that you sneak out with a win where you should have lost.
That has crept in, for me personally, that has crept into the top 5 crosstown moments of all time. Easily. Aramis, I think, for me, is still number 1.
I mean,
although Barrett punching
Brzezinski.
Barrett punching Brzezinski is really number 1.
If we're talking
Then it's the Aramis walk-off. Now it's Morel is number 3. Do you have another one that is in your top 5 that somebody might not think of?
Not really.
Those are the top 3.
If I'm being honest with you, I'm not a crosstown guy, right? Like, for me, I'm enjoying the vibes from the other night because they desperately needed to win that game.
Yeah, they did.
And it's not the same thing, right? Different team, different players, different circumstance. But it had like an element of KB against Colorado in 2015, where it was one of those, like, the season wasn't over if they dropped that game on Wednesday to the White Sox, kind of like I felt like it would have been if the Cubs did lose that game to the Rockies in 2015. But it just had that, like, man, they need to come back and win this game. Like, they have to win this game. Can't lose 2 in a row to the Sox with 2 off days sandwiched in between. You have to win this game. And for, a guy that's 24 years old, like, that's going to be hopefully just one of Christopher Morel's big moments in his career. I thought you were talking
about yourself, but no.
I wish I was 24 years old, Luke. You're the old man, but I'm not far behind.
But everybody's 24 to me.
Well, and like I we're still getting like stories from this. Like I was reading Andy Martinez from Marquee tweeted out that he asked Morel who the most famous person to reach out to him after the home run on Wednesday was, and he said it was his grandma.
Oh.
No, his grandma who doesn't own a phone and doesn't watch the games.
Oh, wow.
And called to congratulate. And so that was like a big
That's
so wholesome and nice. Yeah. So
I mean, how could you not like Christopher Morel? I understand that the strikeouts and the part of the baseball that sometimes he struggles, but he is the captain of vibes over there. And by the way, speaking of vibes, Brad Beatty says in the live YouTube chat, I muted my Zoom meeting to hear you guys talk about the Cubs. Who schedules a Zoom during CHGO pregame?
Good call.
Right? I mean, isn't that the truth?
We drop the schedule on the CHGO Sports Social, every morning. Like, what the schedule is.
But, Brad, thank you for having priorities and dignity.
I also saw that Fernando was at, I think he said West Town Bakery, which is just across from beautiful, historic Wrigley Field.
Yeah, I'm out on that place.
I'm assuming that means Fernando's going to the game today. He's in our chat every day.
So
hopefully Fernando and Cody get to fly the W.
I might go to today. Nando's for a little peri-peri lunch is what I was thinking.
Great call.
Different place, but
Classic
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. All right, so we're still enjoying it. Now, today.
The obscure, you're asking for the obscure with Cub Sox, Michael Jordan being in the.
Michael Jordan, a double.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
that's
it
top
was
5,
back
even
when
though
it wasn't in the record.
Wasn't in the right direction. It was. We can all claim Michael, so we'll take.
It was at Wrigley though,
so
he was in a Sox uniform.
I'd say put Michael's double as number 5 on the all-time list. Number 4 for me is there was a play back in the day. We used to GN would do one broadcast and Comcast would do the other. Comcast Sportsnet would do the other broadcast, depending on how it worked out with broadcasting rights. So one channel had the Sox broadcast, the other had the Cubs. And at the time, we had the White Sox one for that particular series. And Hawk, somebody got doubled off second, and Hawk had an epic meltdown. And he just could not believe it. Dadgum right, we're going to protest this game.
Oh, yeah,
and he couldn't 100%. Have been more wrong about the call when he went back and looked at it.
I don't remember the context.
It wasn't even close. Yeah. It was some sort of play at second. You're dadgum right, we're going to protest this.
As Cody would say, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Credit to Cody.
Stephen Bielat in the chat says Soriano's walk-off at Wrigley against the White Sox. So I don't know if that one made your top 5.
Yeah, there's been some good moments. It's a lot of fun.
Sure.
But time to move on with real baseball.
All right.
And hopefully now you feast off of, I was hoping they were going to get 2 against the Sox. Now you got to sweep the Royals. You can't lose games to the Royals. No, don't give me that. I know it's baseball, yada, yada, yada. Don't lose a game to the Royals. And the man in charge of that today is Jameson Taillon. And I say, will the real J-Mo please stand up?
Yeah, look, I'm with you. Sweeps are hard, right? I try not to demand sweeps against anybody.
But demand it.
This is set up well for the Chicago Cubs, right? The Brewers got swept in Los Angeles. The Dodgers finished off that sweep late last night. Austin Barnes, I think, came into the game with like a 1 WRC plus, and I know, not to get all Dell metrics on everybody, right? But 1 is like really bad. I think as bad as we've seen it. And so you're set up, you're 2 games back. The Brewers are playing the Texas Rangers, who are very good, and you get to play the Kansas City Royals. So, I'm not going to say you have to be in first place by the end of the weekend, but the whole point of this stretch was the Cubs don't play a good team again until the Brewers at the end of the month, and the Brewers have a very tough schedule. So you got to take care of business. You're at home. You're playing bad teams, just like we saw in the game on Tuesday against the White Sox, right?
Yeah.
Like, you never count your chickens just because a team is worse than you or playing bad or whatever. But overall, right, like during this stretch, they got to take care of business.
Niren says, isn't your studio by Parlor Pizza? I'll meet you there to watch between shows. Niren, we'd love to meet you. It is actually pretty close. It's a couple blocks down the street from where we're at. But we have our own Zoom meeting while we're watching the game and trying to order food. So I don't think we're heading out. I would love to go to Parlor Pizza. I actually like their pizza. It's pretty solid.
Let's eventually take them up on that.
Yeah, I'm in for that.
I love pizza.
I'm in for the Parlor Pizza meetup. We can call it an unofficial takeover.
Yeah.
PPP.
Or, Niren, if you're around there, also, I like Cone. I like a good ice cream social during the game every once in a while, too.
Luke's looking for a delivery.
Do Right Donuts isn't that far from here.
You told me not to.
I told you not to. Corey, I did offer, because I predicted two of the greatest home runs in White Sox history, I did call both of those. I called Madrigal and I called Morel. And nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care except Corey cares because he was there and he witnessed it, but nobody seems to care except for me. Do you realize that I put it out there into the atmosphere, into this stratosphere, and all of a sudden it happened?
The Madrigal homer, I think, was the more impressive call.
Well, I mean,
honestly. Because, you get to the ninth
inning. I might as well
inning.
predict the sky's going to turn purple tomorrow.
Was it you that tweeted, "Thanks, Sox"?
Yes, it was.
It was great.
You get to the ninth inning.
Come on. Boog should know his history. He's got to throw that out there after that.
Yeah. I don't think he trolls like that.
But that should have been the troll of all trolls. Just thanks, Sox.
I think JD would play in that water.
Yes, I would agree.
So yeah.
Twice as many home runs as Tim Anderson this season, Nick Madrigal.
And he doesn't get back in the lineup today, right? No.
He is not. And by the way, Morel leading off as DH. So the vibes continue. He was the last Cub to bat in a game, and now he will be the first Cub to bat in a game today.
Yeah. So on the season, I think the Royals starter has had some slight reverse splits, but for his career, he has been worse against righties. So that's what Ross is doing, leaning on that. I got a text from our good friend Dr. Brendan Miller that says the Royals pitcher, it's either Ragans or Reagans. I always get that stuff wrong. If you give me a 50-50 on pronouncing something, I'm going to get it wrong. Ragans. He said his fastball is one of the worst in the league. So there you go. Feast on the fastball, boys. But I know the initial reaction, I think, for everybody is, where is Tauchman, right? And he's been good against both sides of pitching, kind of split independent. But I don't hate that Ross is not going to kind of just run him into the ground, right? He is a guy that doesn't have a ton of this level of success at the major league level. He was really good for the Yankees in 2019, but has also struggled at the MLB level. So I think the instinct is the team has been very good when he's been leading off. Their record is good. He's been good. But at the same time, you can massage the matchups every so often, right? And they feel like this one, lefty on lefty, is not a great one, which is why Jamer's hitting lower, and you've loaded up the lineup with righties. That's their logic. We'll see if it works.
But they did take the power bat of Nick Madrigal out of the lineup today, and they replaced it with Patrick Wisdom, who I almost took for who you got. Now, I know a lot of people have been up and down, more down probably on Patrick Wisdom since April passed by, because he was obviously spectacular in April. Today is the kind of day that I could easily see a 1 or 2 home run day for Patrick Wisdom. A bad pitcher, nice sunny day at Wrigley Field, air and water show practice going on.
Yeah.
I could see one of those Blue Angels having to dodge a Wisdom homer today.
Yeah. I don't know, just throwing it out there, I don't know if I would say that I'm going with Ragans. Cole Ragans.
Yeah.
Ragans. I don't know if he's a bad pitcher. He's had
Cole
some good
Rags.
starts.
We call him Rags. Cole Rags.
But Brendan does not like that fastball, says it rates really poorly. And I think he was just okay against the Cardinals in his last outing. But he's had some good outings for the Royals here. An ERA, I think, just north of 4. But Wisdom's been pretty good for who he is, right, in his last, 15 games or so, his last 15 games, his last 30 at-bats, he's got 5 homers. Like, that's what he's in there to do. Like, I know there are people that will never like a player like him, and he has had awful stretches, right?
Yeah.
He was not good at first base the last time he was out there.
Oh, he's back at first base here. I don't love the first base part
I don't either. But
I don't mind throwing in the home run bat every once in a while, basically the Dave Kingman home run strikeout. Take your pick.
Yeah.
But I don't know. By the way, you and Brendan will have the podcast on Sunday as this series wraps up. I can't remember the specifics of what Brendan was talking about in the last one, but I was so confused by all the graphics that he was talking about, all the stats and analytics. He is a master. He really is a doctor.
He literally is a doctor. He is a doctor.
But sometimes for me,
I wouldn't call him that to be funny.
No, sometimes for me, trying to figure out all the intricacies of what he's talking about is like trying to read a doctor's handwriting. I'm just like, what? Man, he breaks it down.
He's a funny guy because I've told him before that, there are times where I'm like, hey, can you dumb it down a little for me or for other people? Give me a layman's term read on that. And the way that he dumbs it down is still way too complicated.
It's still NASA level.
I think one of the things he's looked at a lot, and Taillon has talked about this, is that his fastball is moving. He talks about the horizontal movement a lot. Yeah, the way it runs. And I think Taillon specifically has been getting too much arm side run, right? So the fastball is breaking too much to the right side, which is more than he wants. And I think he talked about it in the last game where he was basically like, look, I don't have the feel for it right now.
Right,
it's a
which
work
is
in
crazy
progress.
for a player to be that honest.
Right. And I think he might have said it's something that, you can't really fix these things right now.
Yeah.
You can't go in and change too many mechanics, things like that. So that's something to watch when he's out there. How does that fastball look? How is it moving? And more importantly, does it look like he has a feel for it, right? And is confident in using it? Because that's going to be a key for Jameson Taillon today, who has been pretty good. Obviously not a good outing in Toronto. 3 innings, 8 runs, right? But before that, his last bad outing was probably Cleveland on July 2nd. He gave up 4 earned in 5 innings. But
that's what you need today.
Really, after that, it was some pretty, not great starts, but decent starts, some quality starts in there. He was picking up some wins. He ended up over 500 in his win record, which seemed impossible given how he started the season. So you're just looking for, I think, another solid start with Stroman out. We still don't know exactly how long. Assad, really good the other night for the most part. Made one mistake really right on the home run ball.
2 earned runs, 6 innings. You'll take that. I'll take that today from Taillon. But again, this is a bad Royals team, and these are the types of teams you need to feast off of if you hope to make the playoffs. You have to beat the bad teams.
I know. I think it was Gary. Our good friend Gary Ross in the chat earlier was talking about, as Cody would say, you have to be aware of the Nelson Velasquez revenge game. He has been hitting tanks for the Royals. They're letting him play every day, which is, what you want. I think if...
I'm happy for him.
Not this weekend, but I think in general, you're rooting for Nelson Velasquez. He gave us, I don't know, we were talking about that the other night, prior to Morel, that comeback homer in that big comeback game earlier in the year was one of the best moments of the season. So they're giving him a shot. Quas has been good for the Cubs, so hopefully a win-win for everybody, just not this weekend.
The Nelson homer's probably still top 5 moment in the season. Still.
I think so.
Yeah, it's probably still in the conversation.
It gets brought down a little bit because it was, the 3rd inning?
Sure.
Right? So,
it does, but it was, as far as vibes go, it's top 5 moment of the season. Becky in the chat has a great point, and she's saying, listen, this is time to feast. It's like the Reds are playing the Blue Jays and the Brewers are playing the Rangers this weekend. You are playing the lowly Kansas City Royals. You're 2 games out of first place going into the weekend. You're tied for the final wild card spot. This weekend is an opportunity to catch the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yep.
Catch them and pass them. At the very least, catch them, because I've said I think they need to catch them before the series begins with them at the end of the month. You got a 12-game stretch that started now with 2 games against the White Sox, and you split those. I think they've got to catch the Brewers before they face the Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, look, we kind of said this. It's similar to the stretch they had before the deadline, right? Where, again, you can't just chalk up W's because you're playing bad teams, right? But when we headed into that 2-week stretch after the All-Star break into the deadline, we didn't know that they were going to win almost literally every game, right? And that things were going to play out, that they were going to get back in the race and be buyers. But we looked at that schedule and said, look, if they can't prove it now, they're not going to deserve anything.
Right.
Like, this is where you have to prove it. This is the same thing. Like, now they're in it. They're in this race. They're going for a playoff spot. They're going for the division, more importantly. You don't have to win every game against the Royals, the Tigers, the Pirates, but if you can't take advantage of this stretch when your competition is playing really good teams, you're at home.
That's right.
For these games this weekend, like, you're not going to deserve the division or a playoff spot, right? Like, you have to clean up against bad teams. And it's one of those things where, like, sometimes fans will react, and, you know, even on, like, Wednesday we heard it, right? Like, oh, you know, everybody's celebrating because they beat the White Sox. Look, you play who's on the schedule. You got to win games. Teams that make the playoffs, teams that do well in the playoffs, beat bad teams. If you play decent, 500-ish against the really good teams, right, which I think the Cubs are probably a little below that, you take care of business against the bad teams, and that's where you make your money. So I don't care who they're playing. Like, this schedule is soft.
Got to win at least 8 out of 12. That's what Please
take care
said.
Of business.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. You got to win at least 8 of those 12. Yeah, I mean, and the thing about the White Sox, I know people, you know, the Sox side of it, first the Cubs fans were all yelling, this is their World Series, when they got a home run to win game
World
1 of the series.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the Cubs went, oh, they're acting like this is their World Series. And my reaction was, well, no, that was 2016, which is way more recent than 2005. But I digress. In reality, I think the celebration would have been almost exactly the same for any team that they would have played that night. When you have no runs through 7 innings and you get a Nick Madrigal homer in the 8th and a walk-off in the 9th, they're going to be flashing the lights off and lighting the W, and people are going to...
That's what I'm like...
Maybe the shirt doesn't get totally ripped off, but at the very least, he's going midway.
I mean, Bodie's shirt ended up off against the Nationals, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Look, it's one of those things, like I said, I'm not a Crosstown guy. I do not care about the White Sox. Unless they're playing in the World Series,
right.
They're not our problem, right? And our guy, shout out Herb Lawrence, great sport the other night.
He
took
sport.
all of that celebration, filmed the video with y'all.
That's right.
He sat through all of Go Cubs Go, and he didn't say a word.
He did not.
Right? Good sport, that Herb Lawrence. But, like, they needed to win that game. I was going nuts because they won the game. They needed to win the game. When I walked up to that section, you saw me. I was like, I mouthed to Cody, like, I'm not doing well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel good. Like, I feel bad about this. And then, you know, they end up winning the game. They needed to win the game. That's what's important. I don't care who they're playing.
Hey, we've got a big event coming up. Now, we had told you this week that the deadline for buying tickets to the Cog Hill, our kickoff classic, the CHGO kickoff classic, which diehards, we're going to hopefully go golfing with you at Cog Hill. That's coming up. That's a week from today, next Friday. The deadline was originally today, but it has been pushed back till Monday. Cog Hill gave us a couple more days, so we've pushed it back to Monday to try and fill the last couple spots that are available. I'll be there. Braggs is going to be there. He's been out practicing.
For lack of a better term.
How many times have you golfed this summer in preparation for the Cog Hill Special?
I just started golfing probably 3 weeks ago, just before training camp.
That's right.
To get ready for Cog Hill.
And how many times?
I've probably been out 10 to 15 times.
That's aggressive golfing. I've never golfed 10 times in a summer.
We have been. Well, I got a course not too far from my house. $20, real easy. Hop on. You don't have to
nice. That's
reserve.
Nice. Yeah.
It's not the nicest course in the world, but it's, you know, a solid 18.
I definitely lost my consistent golf playing time, which it was never great anyways. I just didn't have time. But once you live in the city, it's just hard to find a golf course. I know there are golf courses in the city, but if you really want to golf, it's like you're leaving the city and going out for an hour and a half in traffic. Then you spend 5 hours in the golf course and you're in the car another hour and a half coming back. So
yeah, I'm really taking to it. I've got the itch now. I enjoy it.
You got the itch.
I got the itch because I'm actually better than I thought I'd be.
Out of the 10, how many times under 100?
Well, this has been a real talking point on CHGO Bears, so we don't have to go into.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, because like I said, the course that I play on's a cheaper course.
Sure.
Like some of the courses that
not set up to be the
Carm
Masters.
and Adam say are bad courses are the Masters compared to this course that I'm playing on. So. Somebody calls it a handicap index, so it kind of depends on what course you're playing on.
Have you been under 100?
I have on the.
That's
Oak,
impressive.
Yeah, shout out to Oak, Nolan, Crown Point. It's not the hardest course.
That's
in
impressive.
The world, but I had a really bad showing yesterday with Carm and Hogue, and then it pouring down rain the last 4 holes, and we played through.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for quite some time.
Yeah,
Carl Spagler said. All right,
but
so
anyways, come out to Cog Hill. We're all going to be there. Corey Wooten's going to be there from the Bears team.
Oh, Wooten's going to be there?
Wooten's going to be there. The whole CHGO gang's going to be there.
Now, is he in your foursome, so you guys are going to try and win something?
He is not in our foursome. I have my own
You have your own group.
I have my own foursome of
I
friends.
just have my buddy from high school's coming, so there's going to be 2 of us. So I'm hoping to team up with some ringers from the CHGO Cubs diehards. So if you're a ringer.
Well, if you golf with Carm, good luck.
Flipper. Hey, by the way, it's also a Sunnyside Summer Friday, if you didn't know. They got everything you need to elevate your summer. Who made you feel like summer sports were just something special? Obviously, Christopher Morel and Nick Madrigal. Who gave you the Sunnyside summer vibes? Madrigal, Morel, Fulmer.
Yeah.
Even
sure.
Smiley.
Sure.
They gave you the vibes this weekend. It's all about owning the weekends. Summer Fridays, we're leaving the office early vibes. That's the great thing about the 120, by the way. Friday night's off.
That's how Luke starts his Sunnyside Summer Fridays.
Fridays off, right out of here after the Cubs postgame show. Yeah, I am. I admittedly am concerned that it could be a Nelson Velasquez revenge series because he's been hot. And the one thing he does have is power, right?
Yeah, and I mean,
there's no question in power.
He
he was blocked on this team. I don't think he was going anywhere.
Taillon has struggled at times keeping the ball in the park. Again, like the Royals aren't good, but you've got Witt Jr. in there. Salvi can pop one. Nelson can pop one. So you got to be careful, like no matter what. So
we got who you got, of course. Interesting choices today. I didn't know where. Nobody took Nico Horner. It's very rare who you got where Nico Horner's not taken. Nobody took Morel on Wednesday night. So I won with Bellinger, who had the leadoff double in the 9th and made the double play to get at third base. Who got thrown out at third? Their star guy, the center field. Luis Robert. Doubled him off over at third base. Today's picks, I went with Seiya because I was told it's his birthday.
Seiya's birthday?
Seiya's birthday? Did I see that? Oh. Is it Seiya's birthday? If it's not Seiya's birthday, I'm changing my pick.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't have their birthday calendar.
I believe it is Seiya Suzuki's birthday.
It is, yeah.
Seiya's birthday. He's going to hit a birthday bomb.
All right, there you go.
Birthday bombski. Calling it right now.
I don't know. I'm riding the hot hand, right?
You're going Morel, yeah, because when he gets hot, a lot of times, nobody took Wisdom.
Rumor has it Morel's still running. He's still flying around the bases. He's still
I would
running.
have flipped to either Wisdom or Nico had it not been Seiya's birthday, but the birthday bombski is too hard to pass up. So that's where I'm going. Nothing from Cody. Right? Cody did not send in today?
I thought he got Hap. No?
Yeah, he put Hap in the Slack. I'm fairly certain.
Oh, okay.
Unless he was talking about something else.
He's in for Hap. He's in for Hap.
Well, that's because he's in the left field bleachers.
Yeah, right.
Right? And he's with
He's probably there by now.
He's with a YouTuber, right?
Bleacher Jeff's probably saved him the spot.
But he's with some big-time YouTuber, too.
M-Bone.
Oh, a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
M-Bone HD, yeah.
M-Boone. Who, have you ever seen his videos, Luke?
The YouTube guy?
Yeah.
It's him watching the game? Is that the guy he's doing it with?
Yeah.
I have because Cody has shown them to me.
They're intense. He does them for Bears, too.
And we can confirm that those are live videos or he's going back and reenacting them?
I believe they're live.
I like to believe in people and their authenticity.
But it'd still be fine if he did the other. I mean, I don't care either way. I'm just curious if it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're right in the moment.
Not David Dobrik. This is
because there's nothing better than the in-the-moment reaction, like I gave Adam Hogue, where I almost scared the life out of him.
That's right. That was real. That was real and authentic.
Yeah, we've got Cody just tweeted on the CHGO Cubs account
the
video of Jameson Taillon heading out from the bullpen. So,
and does he give Cody the nod?
Well, it's from the
CHGO
Cubs account, little inside baseball that I know it was Cody tweeting.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Right.
But so that means he is. Looks like he's in the second row in the bleachers.
Very nice. Yes. He's near bleacher Jeff.
I think when Seiya hit that home run the other day, it looked like somebody took that shot off the groin. So hopefully Cody's head on a swivel today. Cody, pay attention.
Corey wants the next shirt to be "Shut Up, Hogue."
I love it.
In the video.
I love it.
Wow. Gary Ross is taking wisdom. See, he's thinking wisdom.
I'll also, I told you all that Brendan texted me that the Kansas City starter has a very bad fastball.
Yeah.
He took Dansby and who you got, and he's like, this is the type of guy that Dansby should be feasting on. So
then again, Brendan's not doing that well in who you got.
No, he's not. Also, to use one of Cody's quotes, big of me, credit to me. I give Brendan credit for these little nuggets. I could just steal him. What's he going to do?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
What's he going to do? Come in the office and tell me I stole his little nuggets of information?
He's not.
He's in Southern California. He can do nothing. So,
except for enjoy the sunshine.
Big of me to give him credit. And then if he's wrong, I'll just say he's a nerd and he's making stuff up.
That's right.
You
can always pick on the people that aren't here. That's a rule on this podcast. You're not here, you get picked on.
Yep.
Great. Like you.
That's right.
We're gone. Yeah.
Well, I get picked on a lot, probably. Didn't see it, so I don't know, but it's possible. All right, thanks for joining us on the CHGO Cubs pregame show podcast. We will be back for a full live hour of vibes after the game.
Luke's doing the beer bat if they win. You heard it here first.
I am not doing the beer bat if they win. Braggs might be willing to do the beer bat. Corey might be willing to do the beer bat.
I'm more of a Sunnyside Summer Friday kind of guy.
Corey might do the Sunnyside hit. We'll just change it up a little bit. Sunnyside gummy drop for the post-game show.
Deal.
From Mindy's Hot Chocolate. All right. Thanks for checking out the show. We'll see you after the game. Hey, everybody in the chat, we hope to see you right back here after the game. Hit the like button on the way out and fly the W.